Assalamu alaikum. My name is Umair Asif and today I am going to talk about price floor, price ceiling, surplus, shortage and deadweight loss. So before starting I would like to say that these are the terminologies which are derived from economics and they have a huge role to play in economics. So what basically price floor and price ceiling are? Let's start from price floor first. It is the price that the government has imposed on a particular product that is to be sold at it, and the buyers are expected to pay for it. So, if the prices goes above the equilibrium, the quantity of supply will also increase. Now, what basically equilibrium is? Equilibrium is a point where both demand and supply are equal and they are balanced. I'll show the graphical representation in the later part of the video, but first I would like to explain it by myself what it is. So let's consider that there are 5 packets of fruits which are sold for $20. So this is the point where this is the equilibrium point. But if the government states that $20 is not enough for those 5 packets of fruit, so increase the price, and they increase the price by $10 and it turns out to be $30. So then it is price floor, because the actual price is not the amount is increased and the actual price of equilibrium is not there, so there is an increase in the prices, so that is the price floor because it has gone above the equilibrium. But if the government says that $20 is too much for 5 packets of fruit, so reduce the price, and they reduces the price and it turns out to be $10 for those 5 packets of fruit, so then that would be price ceiling, because they have decreased the prices, and when the prices will decrease and they will go below the equilibrium, that will be known as price ceiling. But if the prices would go above the equilibrium, that would be known as price floor. I have the graphical representation of those graphs here and I am going to show you that. uh, Here they are, the price floor and price ceiling, and this is the supply curve and this is the demand curve, and when they both intersect each other, this is known as equilibrium. And at point of equilibrium the price was $5, but now the price has increased to $8, so this would be the price floor because the price has increased. And here the price was $5 but now it is $2. The price at equilibrium was $5 but now it is $2, so the prices has decreased, so this would be price ceiling. And there is one more thing to tell, that whenever the price floor would increase there would be surplus, and when the price ceiling would occur there would be shortage, which would be discussed in the later part of the video as well. Now let's talk about surplus. What surplus is? Surplus is an amount of an asset, and it is the difference between what a customer is willing to pay at a maximum price for a quantity and the market price. So there are two types of surplus. One is consumer surplus and other is the producer surplus. In consumer surplus the advantage is with the consumer, and in producer surplus the advantage is with consumer. Now let's talk about consumer surplus first. Let's assume that there is a product whose worth is rupees 80, but it has been sold for rupees 20 and customer is willing to pay for it. The customer pays rupees 20 for that, and but the actual worth is rupees 80. So now the difference between these two will be determined as the consumer surplus. When we minus 20 from 80, the answer is 60. So now the 60 rupees is the advantage for the customer, so this would be known as the consumer surplus. But if a producer is selling a product at rupees 80 but the worth of it is rupees 20, so now if we calculate the difference would be same, it would be 60. But at this point we can consider that the producer is at advantage because he is gaining a profit of rupees 60, so that rupees 60 would be considered as the surplus of the consumer of the producer, sorry. So this would be known as producer surplus. Now the fourth thing in this video is shortage. Usually shortage is quite predefined by its name. When there is some product is lacking in the market, it is known as shortage. So basically if we talk about this in the economic terms, we'll see that if the quantity demanded is increasing, the quantity supplied would decrease, because if let's take an example. These days the hand sanitizers and masks are very common. People are willing to buy them because of the coronavirus, and everybody has bought them, and they have stored there in their houses. So now they are not available in the markets. There is a shortage of hand sanitizer and masks because people has bought them, and the demand is increasing. So when the demand of a product would increase, the supply would automatically decrease. So this has happened with us these days. When the hand sanitizers and masks were quite in demand, so the supplies decrease. So this is known as shortage, that when there is an increase in demand, the supply would decrease. And sometimes the producers increases the prices of their products, because they know that they are short in market, so they need to generate more revenue by this, so they do this type of things, and this is known as shortage. Now let's talk about the last thing, which is debt weight loss. What is debt weight loss? It is the excessive burden which is caused by the economic inefficiency. It is the loss gained from trades. Let's take an example of it. For example, there is a bus trip to New York, which cost which cost dollar 40s, but the value of it is dollar 50. Obviously you would go for it because you are saving $10 from it, and you'll go for it, and you'll try to be sitting in that bus and have a trip and sightseeing the entire New York, and you would be very happy. But after a few days, if the government imposes a tax on it, and the same trip turns out to be $60, the price of that trip is increased by $20. So you won't go, because now you are paying $10 extra, because the value of that trip is $50, but now the cost of that trip has turned out to be $60. So you are giving extra $10 more than the value. So this is debt weight loss, and in debt weight loss, no revenues are generated as well. So these were the five things which I was supposed to tell, and I hope they were informative, and thank you.